Our state of mind really impacts how able we are to move forward in our life in a moment in a way that's right for us. What I mean by that is when we get really upset by something, or when we get really frustrated or anxious, or there's something going on in our life, or something that's just happened in our life that really riles us up. When that happens, the best thing that we can do in that moment is to recognize that it's happening and to recognize what it means. And I want to talk a little bit about what's happening and what it means, because it's so useful when it comes to navigating those situations. So let's say someone's just said something to me and it's really, really got to me. In that moment, my state of mind has shifted from whatever I was doing before, however I was feeling before. Maybe I was feeling fine, maybe I was a bit tired, maybe I was actually feeling great, having a great day. I was in some kind of state of mind. And then someone says something to me and I get really riled up. I've shifted into a different state of mind. And I find it really helpful to consider this like a ladder, where down here, let's say 0 on the scale of 0 to 10, is a really grounded, clear-minded, calm state of mind. There's softness there, there's clarity there. There's not a lot matters. Like it's not things feel kind of easygoing, and problems feel like they can be solved quite naturally. That's the kind of space that we're in when we're at a 0 or 1. Like problems don't really feel that big or that important or that bad, because we naturally, from that space, from that clear state of mind, we naturally are brilliant problem solvers. You know, we have a clear, we feel clear inside of ourselves. We feel grounded. A 10 looks different. So, and it feels different. So a 10 might be when you start to feel, or the scale, like as you're moving more towards a 10, you start to feel more tense. You might start to feel more anxious, more nervous, more insecure. You might have lots and lots of pinging thoughts around in your mind. How dare they? Why would they say something like that? How could they, behave in the way that they have? They told me that they should know better, right? I would never treat someone that way. Why are they treating me that way? So these kinds of thoughts that start coming up. Those thoughts come with an uncomfortable feeling. So it might be a tension, it might be a knot in your stomach, it might be a headache. Like there are certain physical attributes that tend to happen, some very fast, some slowly over time, when we start to move up this ladder into a more heightened, more intense, more insecure, more worried, more fearful, more anxious, more angry state of mind. So we're always existing in a state of mind. And it's really helpful to start to see where we are. So on a scale of 0 to 10, where am I? And here's the reason why it's so helpful. Because when I am at a 10, my judgment is off, in the sense that I might, if I make big decisions from a 10, for example, I might live to regret those decisions, right? So if I have a really bad day at work and my boss says something to me that really, really gets to me, I might think to myself, and this has actually happened to me, like, I cannot believe that happened. There is no way I can stay one more day in this company. I'm out. I'm going to quit. I'm going to hand in my notice right now. If we operate from there, like if we actually act out of those thoughts, we can get ourselves into trouble. We can start to exhibit kind of self-sabotaging behaviors, because what happened to me when that happened was I kind of settled and I calmed down. And the next day or a couple of days later, it was like, oh, okay, no, I don't actually want to quit my job. Actually, I quite like my job. I'm just really frustrated by what my boss did. Or actually, yeah, maybe I do want to quit my job, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to set myself up so that I've got, I've got a plan for how I want to do that. So there's more natural perspective that comes through as we slowly start to sink back down that ladder, and that happens. So it's literally part of life that we move up and down on this scale. So there's nothing wrong with us for getting riled up. There's nothing wrong with us for that happening. But it's helpful to know that it happens. And it's helpful to know that any number that we're at any point is always temporary. Tens do not last forever. Zeros do not last forever. Part of being a human being is that we experience the fluctuations of emotion. We experience the fluctuations of life and of feelings and everything that's going on for us as a human being. So yeah, when you're at a 2 or a 1, you can bet that that's not going to last. And when you're at a 9 or a 10, you can bet that that's not going to last. That's good. That's a helpful thing to know. And when I really got to see the truth of the fact that when I'm at a 10, I'm not seeing clearly. I'm not seeing the opportunity or the options or the potential solutions. I'm not creative in that space. Usually when I'm at a 10, there's either one option or there's 2 options, never more than that. It's like I have to quit now and that's it. Like there is no other option. I have to quit now. Or it might be I have to quit now, or I have to live a life of misery sitting next to this boss that seems to hate me, right? Do you see what I mean by that? There's a kind of black and white mentality when we're somewhere up here. As we move down that scale, our options start to open up. We start to experience a expansion, a loosening, a softening of these 1 or 2 hardcore solutions, and that's it. That's all we can see. It's like you're in a tunnel at a 9 or a 10. And as you start to come down on that ladder, you come out of the tunnel and it's like, oh, okay, I thought that there was this one way only, and now I can see there's this path or this path or this path. There's lots of other options available to me. That's another indication of knowing where you are on that scale. And the more familiar that we get with where we are on the scale, the more we can help ourselves out in those moments of tension, of upset, of insecurity, of anger, where there's so much going on. There's all these whirring thoughts. Everything's going around in the mind, and it's like you're completely overthinking everything or completely tunnel vision about something. We can help ourselves out when we're in that place by knowing that we're in that place and knowing that solutions do not come from there. Knowing that if we make decisions from there, we may shoot ourselves in the foot. And the best thing that we can do when we're hovering up about a 9 or a 10 is to recognize our state of mind and to allow it to pass, because it always does. So as we allow our state of mind to pass, and that can mean different things for different people, sometimes just noticing it is enough to snap us out of it. Sometimes going for a walk helps. Sometimes sitting down and breathing helps. Sometimes talking to a friend helps. Basically, get it off your mind. Whatever it is that's going on, all of those overwhelming thoughts, get them off your mind as much as you can. Put them all down just for a moment. This doesn't need to be for 3 days, like just for a moment, just for 20 seconds, just for 20 minutes, whatever. But the moment that you stop thinking about it all, naturally we start to settle. And as we settle, we get perspective. As we settle, our judgment, our good judgment comes back. It's kind of like if you imagine sitting down in an airplane, you can really only see the seat in front of you. There's not much more. You don't have a lot of perspective. You stand up in the airplane, suddenly you can see pretty much the whole craft, right? The whole aircraft. You can see the exits, and you can see, what the staff are doing, and you can see people walking up and down. Like, your vision expands. That's what happens when you settle down on that scale and you come back to 0, 1, 2, 3. We're in a different state of mind. We have more perspective. We can make better decisions from there. So the next time that you find yourself in that tense feeling super uncomfortable, feeling frustrated, angry, feeling like you need to go and make a big life decision immediately, think of your state of mind. Consider what state of mind you're in and consider if that's the right thing to do from here. Or maybe you'll have an idea of what you should be doing from here, and actually know that you're helping yourself out, right? You're not doing that for anyone else. You're doing that for you. That settling, that taking a breath and allowing yourself to come back to you, that's going to benefit you, because the decisions that you make from here tend not to serve you. And the decisions that we make from this grounded, clear-minded place tend to serve us better. Intuition comes from there. Our inner wisdom comes from there. When that pops up for us, we can follow it because we're not in that tunnel anymore. I hope that's helpful. Take care.